Nobody's coming to save you. Read that again. No mentor, no partner, no motivation fairy is about to knock on your door and hand you purpose. It's you, your breath, and your fucking decisions. I learned that the hard way, waiting, hoping, blaming. I used to pray for someone to notice, for life to give me a chance. That's weakness disguised as faith. The universe doesn't give chances. It gives consequences. You don't get miracles. You make them through repetition, discipline, and pain. Once I understood that, I stopped asking for help and started earning it. You don't need saving, you need awakening. Every time you act, you cast a vote for the version of yourself you want to become. Most people vote against themselves daily and call it balance. Balance is bullshit. The only equilibrium that matters is between your potential and your effort. And most of you are fucking overdrafting. You can't hate the pain that's shaping you. Pain isn't punishment. It's information. It's feedback from the universe saying, you're still alive, keep going. I stopped interpreting pain as a problem and started seeing it as a process. Every ache, every failure, every broken bone carried data. Pain tells you where you're weak. It highlights the bullshit you hide behind. You can't fix what you refuse to feel. The problem is people numb everything. They medicate, scroll, distract, and then wonder why they feel empty. You can't fill a void you refuse to face. I dove straight into it. I learned to sit in pain until it stopped being loud. Pain becomes silence when you accept it. That's when you start hearing truth. Growth isn't about adding more comfort. It's about subtracting illusion. Pain cuts through illusion like a blade. It carves you into who the fuck you were supposed to be. I don't chase happiness. I chase mastery. Happiness is temporary. Mastery is permanent. Happiness depends on conditions. Sun's out, people like you, bills paid. Mastery doesn't give a fuck about conditions. It's built in darkness, repetition, and silence. The problem with chasing happiness is it makes you reactive. The moment shit goes sideways, you collapse. But when you chase mastery, chaos becomes irrelevant. You've trained your mind to operate under fire. That's why I love pain. It's my practice field. Every setback teaches control. Every failure teaches precision. Every mistake refines your awareness. Mastery is not magic. It's bored and mastered. Most people quit because repetition feels pointless. That's the exact moment mastery begins. You want to be great? Get used to doing the same painful shit every day until it becomes art. There's no other way. Consistency kills doubt faster than any pep talk ever could. Most people talk about mental toughness like it's something you read in a book. You can't read toughness. You can't buy it. You've got to fucking live it. You build toughness through exposure. You keep walking into the storm until the lightning stops scaring you. The toughness isn't how loud you can yell. It's how quiet you can stay when your whole world's falling apart. I've broken bones, puked blood, lost friends, failed tests, been humiliated publicly. But I never folded. Not because I'm fearless, but because I decided quitting wasn't an option. Decision first, emotion later. That's the code. And most people wait to feel ready. You'll die waiting. Readiness is a luxury for the weak. The strong build readiness through execution. Every time I want to stop, I reminded myself, comfort's the coffin of warriors. I'll rest when I'm buried. Until then, I'll keep walking through fire until fear gets tired of following me. You want to know the truth about discipline? It's not motivation, it's marriage. Discipline's the spouse you can't divorce. It's not exciting. It's not romantic. It's brutal commitment. You wake up tired, you still do it. You fail, you still do it. You doubt yourself, you still fucking do it. That's marriage to your mission. People treat discipline like a fling. They flirt with it for a few weeks, then cheat on it with comfort. That's why they stay stuck. I stopped flirting with greatness and made it my wife. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It demands proof. It's jealous as hell. If you give energy to weakness, it punishes you instantly. But it also rewards loyalty. Stay faithful long enough and it gives you peace that can't be shaken. Discipline is painful, but so is regret. And one burns now, the other burns forever. Pick your burn. And there's no finish line. People think success means arriving somewhere. Nah, success is motion. The second you stop moving, you start dying. Growth doesn't plateau. It either climbs or collapses. I used to think there'd be a day I could relax, coast, enjoy the fruits. That day never came. Because the moment you relax, you invite decay. I learned to rest inside the work. I don't take breaks from purpose. I recover while grinding. That's the secret. Momentum is self-repair. The body follows the rhythm of the mind. If the mind slows, the body follows. That's why I keep my rhythm loud and consistent. The grind's my heartbeat. Every mile, every set, every journal page, every silent moment. That's life pulsing. The grind isn't punishment. It's proof you're still alive and still willing to evolve. When I stop grinding, bury me. Until then, every day's a fucking rep. The best version of you is buried under layers of comfort, fear, and excuses. You don't find it by wishing. It's buried in sweat and pain. You dig with discipline. You dig with self-awareness. You dig until your hands bleed and your mind screams. That's how you uncover it. The weak wait for clarity. The strong create it. Every action is excavation. Every challenge is a shovel. That's the truth people run from. You can't become someone new without killing who you are now. Transformation is murder in slow motion. You strangle the lazy you, the victim you, the scared you, one habit at a time. It's violent. It's necessary. You can't evolve gently. You've got to destroy comfort like it owes you money. Then, and only then, can the real you crawl out of the wreckage, hungry, aware, and impossible to break. You want to build peace? Earn it in chaos. You want confidence? Earn it in failure. You want freedom? Earn it in discipline. Everything people want sits on the other side of suffering. You can read that on 1,000 memes, but until you live it, it's just noise. I don't speak from theory, I speak from blood. You can't intellectualize your way into power. You've got to sweat for it, cry for it, sometimes fucking bleed for it. The world's allergic to that truth. Everyone wants resilience, nobody wants resistance. You don't build muscles without weight. And you don't build willpower without pain. It's simple math. Pressure equals power. Stop asking for easy. Start asking for endurance. Start asking for repetition. Start asking for the grind to hurt more. Because every ounce of suffering you survive becomes a weapon the weak will never have. Here's the most honest mirror you'll ever stand in front of. It doesn't lie. It shows you every weakness you've been ignoring, every insecurity you've tried to mask with confidence, every dream you've quietly buried because you didn't think you had the balls to chase it. I used to run from fear like it was fire. Now I run straight into it because fear burns away the fake. Every time you walk through fear, you're reborn a little harder, a little cleaner. You can't be fearless, but you can be familiar with fear. You can shake his hand and keep walking. Fear's not the problem. Submission is. Most people negotiate with it. I dominate it. You do that enough and fear stops screaming. It starts whispering. Then one day it shuts the fuck up completely. That's when you realize fear was never the enemy. Comfort was. Fear sharpens. Comfort rots. You can't fight for your dreams with soft habits. I learned that discipline doesn't live in emotion. It lives in decision. People think motivation moves them. Motivation's a visitor. It never pays rent. Discipline's the landlord. It collects daily. And the rent's paying and is due every morning. I stopped asking how I felt. I started asking what needs to be done. The feelings never went away, but the mission got louder. You can't wait for the perfect mindset. You build it through ugly reps. Running when you're tired, grinding when nobody claps, pushing when you hate yourself. That's where identity gets forged. You earn your confidence in those moments. That's where you learn that your word to yourself is the only one that counts. People break promises to themselves like it's nothing. Then they wonder why their self-respect's in debt. Every time you keep your word in pain, your soul cashes a check. There's no way to cheat the process. You can fake effort on social media, but the body and the mind know. They record everything. Every skipped rep, every excuse, every lie, it compounds. The problem with faking the grind is that the results don't lie. You can't Photoshop your stamina. You can't filter your discipline. You can't crop your suffering. That's why I respect pain. It's honest. It doesn't care who you are or what you've done. It exposes you. I started treating pain like a scoreboard. If I wasn't hurting, I wasn't scoring. Pain meant growth. Pain meant data. Pain meant I was still in the arena. Most people want to be gladiators without bleeding. They want the helmet, not the hits, but the fights where you find out who the fuck you are. You can't buy that kind of proof. You have to bleed for it. I stopped chasing comfort when I realized comfort kills creativity. You can't think clearly when you're soft. You can't build anything worthwhile when your brain's addicted to dopamine hits and cheap relief. I detoxed from comfort like it was heroin. No music on runs. No phone before bed. No distractions when I trained. Just silence, pain, and discipline. That's where clarity lives. The world's so loud people can't even hear their own thoughts anymore. Silence became my drug. In silence, you face your demons naked. You start hearing all the bullshit you've been feeding yourself. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. That's when you decide. Either change or keep lying. I chose change. Silence is confrontation. It's not peaceful. It's violent. It drags the truth out of hiding and throws it in your face. But that's the only place progress starts, face to face with the truth. You want to break limits? Stop chasing perfection. Perfection is the biggest lie ever sold. It keeps you paralyzed. You'll never be perfect, but you can be consistent. Consistency is ugly, repetitive, and thankless. And it works every fucking time. I stopped caring about doing it right and focused on doing it again. You don't fail because you're bad. You fail because you stop showing up. People quit 3 feet before breakthrough because it got boring. They confuse boredom with failure. But boredom is the bridge between progress and mastery. Walk that bridge until your feet bleed. Then you'll see results everyone else quit before reaching. I've failed more times than most people have tried, and that's why I win. Failure is my GPS. It tells me where to adjust. The more I fail, the clearer the route gets. You don't need perfection. You need persistence under pressure. That's the formula nobody wants to hear. Every weakness you tolerate becomes a prison. You feed it with excuses, and one day it owns you. I used to feed mine daily. Self-pity, laziness, blame. Then I realized weakness grows in darkness. So I dragged it into daylight. I exposed my flaws to myself and attacked them like enemies. Weakness hates accountability. That's why most people never change. They defend what they should destroy. I stopped defending mediocrity the day I realized it was killing me slowly. Weakness doesn't vanish because you wish it away. It dies because you starve it. You don't feed it time. You don't feed it pity. You don't feed it fear. You starve it with action. Every time you move forward while scared, weakness starves. Every time you face the pain, weakness shrinks. It never disappears. It just runs out of food. That's discipline's real job. Famine for your inner coward. Stop asking life to be fair. Life's supposed to test you. The test is the reward. Without adversity, you're soft. Without resistance, you're untrained. You don't want an easy life. You want a strong back. You build that by carrying shit that scares you. Every problem's a gift disguised as pressure. Every obstacle's a gem for the soul. You either lift it or it crushes you. That's the equation. Most people pray for lighter loads. I pray for stronger legs. Because easy doesn't evolve you. You grow by surviving the weight, by turning stress into structure. Pressure's not punishment. It's privilege. The world doesn't test you because it hates you. It tests you because it's showing you what's left to fix. Once you learn to see challenges that way, pain becomes practice. Every hard thing becomes a rep for greatness. Life's not out to break you. It's trying to sculpt you. Let it. Pain will always be there. It's permanent. And you just get better at carrying it. I don't run to escape pain anymore. I run to keep it trained. Pain's a wild animal. It respects those who respect it. If you avoid it, it hunts you down. If you face it, it walks beside you. That's why I stay close to pain. I keep it within arm's reach. It reminds me who I am. Without pain, you forget. Without struggle, you soften. Pain's the proof you're alive. The more you suffer on purpose, the less the world can hurt you by surprise. That's the trade-off. Every rep, every mile, every cold shower, every lonely day. That's you building immunity to weakness. That's you turning pain into armor. And once you wear that armor, nobody can touch you. Not even life itself. The real war isn't out there. It's in here, inside your fucking head. Every day is a battle between the version of you that wants to rise and the one that wants to hide. I fight that war every morning before the world wakes up. The moment the alarm goes off, the weak version starts whispering, sleep a little longer. That's the first shot fired. If I lose that battle, the day's already gone. I win by moving before my mind has time to argue. You can't debate weakness. You silence it with action. Every rep, every run, every ounce of effort is me declaring war on that inner coward. People think motivation is magic. It's not. It's murder. Killing the soft part of you over and over until only the savage remains. The weak version of you doesn't die easy. You've got to bury it daily, shovel in hand, until it finally stops breathing. You want confidence? Earn it in the dark. Confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from confrontation. I built mine in silence, no cameras, no crowd, just paint echoing off the walls. Every time I doubted myself, I didn't talk about it. I outworked it. That's how you earn confidence that doesn't shake. Most people build self-worth like a house of cards. One bad day, one insult, one rejection, and it collapses. Real confidence is brick and concrete, made through repetition, sealed with failure, reinforced with suffering. You don't lose that kind of confidence. You live in it. Confidence built from comfort is temporary. Confidence built from chaos is permanent. Because it's not about what people say. It's about what pain already confirmed. Pain stamps your passport to self-belief. The world's approval expires. Pain's validation is forever. People love pretending they're working hard. They love the look of effort more than effort itself. But the grind doesn't have aesthetics. It's ugly. It's sweat, stinking blood. It's arguments with yourself at 3 a.m. It's running with cramps, training when you're sick, failing in public, and showing up again. The grind's not glamorous, it's grotesque. But that's where greatness lives. I stopped caring how it looked. I cared how it felt, brutal, raw, real. The process stripped away vanity and left only truth. People chase the appearance of discipline because they can't handle the silence that comes with it. But silence is where monsters are made. You want to look strong? Cool. I want to be strong. You want to post? I want to produce. Every day you choose between pretending and performing. Most pick pretending. I'm not most. Every weakness in your life started as a comfort you refuse to question. That's the origin story of mediocrity. Comfort starts small. Skipping one workout, lying once, letting standards slide just a day. It doesn't stay small. It multiplies, infects, spreads like rot. Soon, you're surrounded by softness pretending to be peace. I lived that lie until I couldn't breathe in my own bullshit anymore. That's when I declared war on comfort. I started auditing every soft corner of my life. Comfort in words, comfort in habits, comfort in thoughts. All of it had to go. I built friction on purpose. Cold showers, long runs, hard truths. Because comfort's a parasite. You've got to starve it out. Most people feed it with justification. I fed mine to fire. Now it starves every day while discipline eats first. Most people think pain's punishment. It's not, it's preparation. Pain's not proof you're broken. It's proof you're still fighting. I learned that the moments I felt most destroyed were the moments I was being rebuilt. Pain's the carpenter, chiseling you into shape. You don't curse the process, you trust it. And you let it carve, you let it cut. Pain doesn't waste effort. Every tear, every failure, every lonely night is a construction project. That's why I don't fear it anymore. Pain's the price of evolution. You can't get stronger without scar tissue. Everyone wants the wisdom without the wounds, but you can't separate them. Pain's not just a teacher. It's the diploma. When life starts hurting, don't look for exits. Look for lessons. That's where you find your next level. Discipline doesn't make life easier. It makes you harder. The world won't stop throwing bullshit your way. The storms won't slow down. You just stop being the type of person who collapses. That's the whole point. You can't control chaos, but you can train for it. You can build emotional armor so thick that nothing penetrates. Every morning I put mine on. Through repetition, through struggle, through suffering. It's not a mindset. It's a habit. You can't think your way into toughness. You train it. Every skipped excuse is a rep. Every broken limitation is a medal. That's why I stay in motion. Because motion keeps me dangerous. The second you stop moving, the rust starts forming. Rust kills faster than bullets. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's self-preservation. It's the only way to stay sharp in a dull-ass world. You ever notice how success makes people soft? They climb, they win, they relax. And that's the beginning of decay. I promised myself I'd never get comfortable with winning. The finish line doesn't exist. You don't arrive. You just find a new level of hell to survive. That's how you stay hungry. I celebrate by suffering more. I don't drink to victories. I bleed for better ones. People think that's crazy. Maybe. But crazy gets results. Crazy stays sharp. Normal gets complacent, and complacency's death by comfort. You can't live off yesterday's work. Yesterday's discipline doesn't cash today's bills. That's why I reset every morning. Every day starts at zero. You either build or you decay. You either move or you rot. There's no middle ground. The mission doesn't care about your excuses, and neither do I. Growth is violent. It doesn't ask permission. It demands surrender. Every time you level up, something inside you dies. In your comfort, your excuses, your attachments. You can't ascend while clinging to weakness. That's why growth feels like grief. You're burying your old self. I bury mine daily. That's what people don't get. Evolution isn't pretty. It's fucking chaos. It's you crying in silence, questioning your worth, breaking down, rebuilding, and doing it all over again. But every breakdown reveals a truth, and every truth builds a new foundation. That's how you grow. Not by avoiding pain, but by enduring it until the weak parts snap off. The world calls that suffering. I call it sculpting. Every cut is progress. Every scar is proof you can't evolve clean. You evolve bloody. The only competition that matters is between who you are and who you could be. Everyone else is noise. I don't give a fuck what others are doing. I compete with my shadow. Every day I ask, did I beat him? Sometimes I don't. Sometimes he wins. But the next day I hunt him harder. You don't need rivals. You need reflection. Your potential is your biggest threat. It's the version of you who did the work, who stayed consistent, who never made excuses. That motherfucker's real, waiting. The question is whether you'll ever catch him. You don't need applause. You need accountability. Stop comparing yourself to people you could outwork. Start comparing yourself to the version of you that never quit. That's the only battle worth fighting. The hardest part of growth isn't the pain. It's the silence. When you start chasing something real, the noise fades. Friends stop calling, people stop clapping, and the world stops watching. That's when you find out if you're built for solitude or just addicted to attention. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. Loneliness used to scare the shit out of me. I thought isolation meant I was losing. Turns out that's where I started winning. In the silence, you hear your truth. You can't hide from your habits or your bullshit when there's nobody left to distract you. Silence is a mirror. It shows every flaw up close, but that's where you sharpen the blade. That's where you evolve from talker to Terminator. You don't find strength in crowds. You forge it in solitude. Alone is where you meet the version of yourself that doesn't fucking quit. The truth about progress is it's boring as hell. People want excitement. New goals, new plans, new validation. That's why they never stick around long enough to see results. Progress is monotony with meaning. It's the same meal, same workout, same grind every damn day. You stop chasing dopamine and start chasing discipline. That's when real transformation begins. When you're no longer entertained by your own potential, but obsessed with your own execution. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's repetition in the face of exhaustion. It's waking up sore, uninspired, and still doing the damn thing. You can't glamorize the grind. The grind's not for Instagram. It's for your soul. Every day you show up without applause, you build a piece of self-respect no one can take. The world claps for results. I clap for effort. Effort's the real legacy. Because it never lies. You don't just train your body. You train your response to bullshit. Life will keep throwing chaos at you until you learn to stay calm in hell. That's what mental toughness really is. Control violence inside peace. I had to unlearn emotional weakness. When shit hit the fan, I used to break, complain, point fingers. Then I realized the storm isn't out to kill you. It's out to test your composure. That's the real test. Can you think when the world's on fire? The weak panic. The strong plan. The strongest execute. That's how you separate emotion from execution. Emotion is the fuel, not the driver. When you control it, it powers you. When it controls you, it buries you. The world's chaotic. You either become calm enough to navigate it or soft enough to drown in it. I chose calm. Calm's my superpower. Calm's earned in the fire, not found in the peace. Accountability is the mirror people avoid because it doesn't flatter. It doesn't care about your intentions. It cares about your output. I used to lie to myself about why I wasn't winning. I had stories, excuses, reasons. All bullshit. The mirror didn't care. The results didn't care. Life doesn't grade on effort. It grades on execution. That's the harsh part. You can mean well and still be fucking mediocre. Accountability hurts because it forces you to face that truth. It's not depression, it's diagnosis. You can't fix what you won't admit. Once I started taking full ownership, no blame, no pity, no external bullshit, everything changed. The truth became freedom. It burned, but it burned away weakness. People avoid accountability because it's painful. But pain's the price of freedom. You can't grow and stay comfortable at the same time. Accountability is not punishment. It's power. You ever notice how people confuse excuses with explanations? They package their weakness in fancy words. I'm overwhelmed, I'm burnt out. I'm just being kind to myself. That's emotional camouflage. I used to be that guy. I spoke fluent bullshit. Then one day I realized the world doesn't care. It only rewards consistency. The truth is simple. You're either getting it done or you're not. There's no middle ground. The brain loves gray areas because it can hide there. I started removing the gray. Everything became binary. I did or didn't, I pushed or quit, I earned or I lied. The clarity hurt at first, but pain's a small price for power. Once you stop negotiating with yourself, your mind stops fucking you over. You either hold the line or fold. Discipline's not about perfection. It's about no longer accepting your own excuses as truth. You can't grow if you keep needing applause. The external validation is a drug that kills authenticity. The moment you start chasing likes, you stop chasing growth. The algorithm isn't your God. It won't save your soul. I used to crave approval like oxygen. I needed people to see me grinding, needed recognition. Then I realized I was addicted to being seen, not being better. Once I detached, I got dangerous. Because when you stop performing for people, you start performing for purpose. And the work became sacred again. It stopped being about reaction and started being about reputation. On my own with myself. Approval fades. Reputation echoes. You can't control what people think, but you can control the proof you leave behind. I don't care who sees it anymore. The grind's not performance art. It's penance. It's prayer. It's my proof. Weakness is contagious. Hang around soft people long enough and you'll catch it. The human brain adapts to the standards around it. That's why I keep my circle microscopic. If you're soft, entitled, or allergic to discomfort, we can't coexist. I don't hate you, I just can't become you. I need people who remind me to level up, not settle down. Energy is currency. Spend it with the broke, and you'll go bankrupt. I learned to audit my circle the same way I audit my habits. If you're not adding pressure, you're subtracting power. And I don't do subtraction. You can't grow around people who make excuses sound smart. The right circle makes you feel like you're slacking even when you're killing it. That's how iron sharpens iron. You want to grow? Sit next to someone who intimidates you and take notes. Regret is hell's echo. It never stops talking. You can't drown it with money, fame, or distraction. It's the sound of potential you buried alive. I hear it every time I take a day off I didn't earn. I don't want to die with that echo playing on repeat. That's why I keep going. Not because I'm special, but because I'm scared of regret. Fear can paralyze or propel you. I chose propulsion. And regret's not just disappointment. It's proof you quit on yourself. That's the one pain you can't rehab. The only cure is to never stop moving. I'd rather suffer now than rot later. Every step I take, every mile I grind, every moment I embrace pain is insurance against regret. The day I stop hurting is the day the echo starts calling again. And I'm not fucking answering. You will never meet your potential until you get comfortable being hated. The truth offends lazy people. Discipline embarrasses cowards. The moment you start holding yourself to a higher standard, weak minds call it arrogance. Let them. Haters are the background noise of greatness. Every insult they throw is fuel. Every doubt they speak is confirmation. I used to fight for approval. Now I fight for progress. The louder they talk, the harder I train. You can't evolve trying to please people who haven't evolved themselves. The goal isn't to be liked. It's to be undeniable. When they see your consistency, they'll stop talking and start watching. And then they'll start copying. But by the time they catch up, you'll be miles ahead. Let the hate remind you you're visible. Let the pain remind you you're alive. Don't chase applause. Chase proof. The noise fades, the work echoes forever. There's no secret formula, just pain, repetition, and time. That's the holy trinity of transformation. You do the shit you hate until you get good at it. Then you do it longer. People romanticize the grind, but it's a fucking trench. Dark, cold, and endless. I've been in that trench for years. That's where character grows. You learn what you're made of when the finish line's gone. The only voice left says, keep going. That voice is the real you. The version forged in fire, every rep, every mile, every failure. That's iron sharpening iron. The body breaks, the mind bends, but the soul, it hardens. There's no easy way through hell. You crawl, you bleed, you keep moving. Then one day you realize the pain didn't end, you just outgrew it. That's evolution. The grind never gets easier. You just get meaner. Pain is honest. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't lie. It tells you exactly where you stand. That's why I respect it more than people. People will flatter you, comfort you, tell you you're fine. Pain doesn't. Pain tells the truth. You're weak here. Fix it. That's why I stay close to it. I'd rather live with pain than with lies. People think peace means no pain. They're wrong. Peace means no illusion. Pain strips away the bullshit. It keeps you humble, grounded, and grateful. Every time I hurt, I remember where I came from. I remember the fat kid who hid from mirrors. I remember the coward who quit when shit got tough. That pain keeps me honest. It's not punishment. It's permission. Bring permission to evolve. The more it hurts, the more you're changing. Pain's not the enemy. It's the sculptor carving the savage out of the soft. Most people never find purpose because they're too scared to suffer for it. They want meaning without misery, victory without vulnerability, growth without grind. But purpose demands blood. You can't fake commitment. Purpose doesn't come from comfort. It's born in crisis. I found mine in exhaustion, humiliation, heartbreak, failure. That's where your why lives. At rock bottom, when there's no applause, no spotlight, just your soul and the sound of your breath. That's where purpose whispers keep going. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It waits for the real ones to listen. And when you do, everything changes. Pain becomes direction. Discipline becomes devotion. And mission becomes sacred. That's why I don't chase happiness anymore. Happiness is fleeting. Purpose is eternal. Purpose doesn't care if you're tired. It cares if you're consistent. The biggest lie the world sells is that peace is easy. It's not. Peace is earned through violence. The violence of discipline, sacrifice, and honesty. You can't have inner calm without outer chaos first. Every battle you fight outside creates stillness inside. I've found more peace on a 40-mile run with bleeding feet than most people find in a week of comfort. Because peace comes from dominance. Mastering the mind, owning the body, controlling the chaos. The world's full of weak peace. Peace bought with avoidance. I want the kind forged through war. And you get there by bleeding now so you don't cry later. Pain isn't the opposite of peace. It's the path to it. You can't meditate your way into strength. It's you suffer your way there. And once you get there, nobody can take it from you. That's the real trophy. There's a voice inside you that wants to quit. It never shuts up. You can't silence it. You can only overpower it. Every day it says stop. Every day I answer, not today. That's the conversation of greatness. Endless, repetitive, exhausting. But that's the point. The war never ends. You just get better at fighting. That voice will follow you to every new level. You just learn to talk louder. The day you stop hearing it is the day you stop pushing. People think toughness is never feeling weak. No, toughness is feeling weak as hell and doing the work anyway. I've cried, I've cursed, I've bled, but I never fucking quit. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. You just need to move when everything in you says stop. That's the discipline that builds monsters. You can't be great if you're comfortable. Comfort's where dreams die quietly. Every time you choose easy, something in you hardens the wrong way. You become numb to your own potential. That's the slowest death. Dying while breathing. I refuse to live that way. I want to die trying, not die resting. Every run, every rep, every sleepless night. That's me digging my grave on my own terms. I don't need comfort. I need cause. I need chaos. I need resistance. That's where the light lives. In the fire. If you're scared of pain, you'll never know peace. If you're scared of failure, you'll never know freedom. And the body breaks. The mind bends. But the spirit, it either submits or ascends. The choice is yours. So I'll keep running into storms, lifting until I break, bleeding until I rebuild. I'll keep chasing that better version of myself and the one who never stops. Because this isn't about fitness. It's about freedom. Freedom from weakness, freedom from excuses, freedom from mediocrity. Life's going to hit. It's going to hurt. But you decide whether it humbles you or hardens you. I know which side I'm on. I chose pain. I chose pressure. I chose the path with no finish line. Because that's where purpose lives. In the place nobody wants to go. I'll keep walking there. Every day, every step, every breath. Stay hard.